Hello Aries, thank you for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Valima Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart Oracle deck by John Holland. This deck feels more like an oracle deck to me, so I'm going to use it with that tarot deck, in case you're wondering. I know it says tarot, but to me it just doesn't resonate as one. I don't know why. Well, there's a couple cards in there that are questionable in my opinion, but are we good? Okay. Hey, I wasn't sure if I wanted that last card out there or not. I'm going to try to sit back a little bit. I know the sun is starting to shine in again. It comes in and out, so this is just where I end up doing my readings. I'm most comfortable here, so that's how that happens. When we're coming into this, I'm seeing you a little bit more troubled than the other person. I'm getting you with the Eight of Swords feeling kind of stuck. It's usually a trap card. And then the move. But like I'm concentrating on the heart here more, and the heart seems like it's kind of it's feeling a little damaged. It's feeling a little raw, and like it needs to be healed. The move, I know the card says move, but I feel like what's going to move forward or what's coming forward next, I feel like you're wondering what the next move is going to be. I feel like it's like, what's my next move? And I feel like you're a little kind of upset about the situation and what this means for your relationship. And it's the Eight of Swords is usually kind of feeling like you're stuck. There's really nothing you can do about it. You're kind of subject to the situation. That is always, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time, a perception, because like if you see that those swords, like that person can move around those swords. Typically in this card, like you'll notice that person's hands are not tied, so they can literally remove that blindfold if they'd like. They can stand up and move out of that situation. But it's feeling like that's not an option is the problem. Another card I'm seeing here where you're standing, well, that's where you're standing, where what you're experiencing is the Five of Cups. Like things are happening, loss is happening, it's hard to see what's left because you're seeing more of what's gone or what's been taken away rather than what is actually left. Now all of this seems to be pulling in, this is a reaction to what's going on your partner's side, and I get that, but it seems like this is the strongest point. This is Aries. I don't know why, but I'm getting another strong Cancer feel here too. Like not on your side, but the other side, which doesn't mean that the person, if the person you're in a relationship with isn't a Cancer, that this isn't for you. That doesn't mean that. But like when I pull in Cancer energy, that's somebody who's very dedicated to family life. That's someone who's got a lot of home feel to them. Highly emotional, but very dedicated. That type of feel. Not that that's the only sign that does that, but I don't know. For some reason, it's pulling in with this one too. It pulled in with Sagittarius as well. I'm just curious why, but I'll throw it out there, see if it works for anybody. Now, this is more, this is a problem. Like, I get that. I feel like I understand more about why they're throwing that word in with the Cancer. I'm getting the Ace of Pentacles and the energy that I'm feeling with this person. I'm getting it's very driven. And it's cemented in, and they feel like this is the right thing to do. That's why you're having these reactions here. Because your partner is not... I feel like they're non-negotiable. This is what's happening. This is what's going forth next. You're either on board or you're not. That's how this feels. They're non-negotiable. Now, part of the reason for that, I'm getting spiritually, they have the Three of Pentacles. They've been working towards this. And I almost feel like for most of you, you should be aware, or maybe you have been aware that they were working towards this. For the majority of you, I feel like you're aware that they were working towards this. And I almost feel like this is part of why they're standing where they're standing. like this is how it's going. This is non-negotiable. I've been telling you about this for a while. I just feel like the way it's coming in and when it's coming in, it doesn't feel like this is not feeling good to you. This is not feeling good to you. Now, I'm getting a lot of cards on your partner side with a lot of love from them going towards you, but a lot of like, they're not negotiating. They're not willing to negotiate on this. This is something that they want. This is something they've been looking forward to. They want this to happen. I'm seeing your partner stand there with the King of Cups, and don't get caught up in the gender like I always say, especially with the general read. But I'm also seeing isolation and sadness. Like they realize that this is inopportune for you. How's that? But they got that King of Cups energy towards you, but they're holding strong to what they want. They still love you. They're expecting to pull you forward with them, but they're realizing that you're not liking this, and they're not willing to back off. And it's hard for them. They're not willing to back off, but they're not seeing you go along with this either very easily. And I'm getting another challenge card they have is they're holding back about how they're feeling, and that they're upset that you're not on board with this, or not seeming to be anyway. The isolation and sadness is telling me they're keeping it to themselves, especially with the Queen of Cups. The Queen especially can hold back her emotions. She has control of that. If she doesn't want somebody to know how she feels, then they won't know, because she won't allow them to. And that's the challenge card. I feel like this person is holding back about how they're feeling, how they really do love you, how they want you a part of this, because they don't want to change their direction. They're not negotiating on this. This is where they're going. This is how it needs to be. And they're feeling like if they open up, that they're putting themselves at a disadvantage, like you'll deter them from their goal, and they're not willing to do that. And again, spiritually, they have the Three of Pentacles. This is something they've been working at. So they're not willing to turn around or anything like that. I'm getting again with the Two of Wands in your challenge positions, like you're not sure what this is gonna do to your life, what type of challenges or changes this is gonna pose. And I feel like you're looking out not knowing, especially with the Moon card coming forward, you're not sure where these new opportunities or this new situation is gonna take you. And I feel like it's the unknowing. Because it's almost like when I'm looking at this person on this card, they don't know where things are going. This is Aries. I have to keep reminding myself that because I'm feeling more of like an emotional upset here. It doesn't feel like Aries energy as much, but it is. So they're confirming that it is, but I feel like you're really kind of feeling like the power has been taken away from you. And you're being pulled forward to something that you're not feeling like you have any control. It's like you're slipping down a hill and there's nothing for you to grab onto to regain your footing or composure. And I feel like that Two of Wands is like, you're not sure what to do about it, and you can't find something to really stably grab onto to get a stable footing to move forward the way you want to. It's kind of feeling like, I know that Two of Wands is not an out of control card, but I feel like it's being pulled between two directions to the point where you really can't grab onto anything. Is kind of what I'm feeling. It keeps coming back that way, and that's the challenge, to actually find like what are your choices, to go forward or to not, and if those are your choices, what do you choose? And I feel like that's the problem with the Two of Wands. It's go forward with your partner or go away from your partner. That seems harsh. And I feel like you don't want to see it that way. And that's why it feels like you're going down the hill in this chaos, because that's pretty much the choice you're faced with. Go forward or move on without them. And I feel like you don't want to move on without them, and you really don't want to move forward either, so it's kind of like, that's why it feels like it's just chaos. Is that okay? Now, you got this Moon card coming forward. This does not feel good for you. This is not good for you. In the sense of like, the situation is out of your control. I just feel like there's no control in it for you. It's just kind of what's happening around you, what's going to go on next. What makes things better for you, and I know this might seem ironic, but is the Hanged Man. Realizing that this moment where you're stuck in between and you're not sure what to do, that cannot last. That will end. But the thing is, I feel like also the Hanged Man, if you look at him, I don't know if this is the best card to use this analogy, but the Hanged Man is subject to other people releasing him from that bondage. And I feel like you're realizing, like, I gotta ride this out, but it's not gonna stay this way, and I'm gonna regain my strength, and I'm gonna regain my composure to have my strong footing again. This can't live this way, but I have to wait for my partner to actually move forward. I just either have to go forward or go away, and I'm gonna go forward. I feel like you're gonna go forward with your partner. I've got to be honest. And I'm feeling like the reason that's a good card for you is to realize, when you realize like this is where it is right now, but this isn't gonna stay this way. I gotta wait for this moment to move forward, and then just react from there. That seems very contradictory to me. Kind of like you're subject to somebody else releasing you from the bondage of the situation, but realizing that will happen. This can't stay this way forever. You are going to get released from the bondage of it, and you're going to either move forward or not. Now, I'm seeing the Lover's card on your partner's side, and I'm seeing you with your card that's matching it is the Moon card. Your partner is finally coming towards you, and they're showing you affection. They're not backing down. They're still going forward, and they're expressing to you how they need you there. They need you to come along with this. They need you to be on board. I feel like that's how it's coming across. Like they need you to come forward with them. They need you to be on board. There's not really a negotiation here. And I'm getting when that happens, it seems to kind of like, I feel like that's sinking in with you, kind of like, all right. I feel like there's a little bit of an aggravation here, to be fair, because you're seeing like, I either have to go left or right. Left, I go with them. And I'm either going to be in or I'm out. And which am I? So am I just gonna, am I gonna submit to this and just go with it and give into it, or am I gonna really have a moment about this and just be like, well, if you're going forward without me? Am I gonna do that? Because that's completely in your court if you want to do that. And I feel like what you're saying here, when I'm seeing the Lover's card come in from your partner's side, is like they're showing you a lot of love and a lot of care. They're not negotiating, and they're not giving you much of a choice. It's either yes or no. I feel like you're seceding to a yes, and you're going forward with them. Because spiritually, I see you with the Knight of Cups. You're concentrating on that love. You're banking on that love. You're going forward with them. I feel like you're going forward with them. And I feel like this is actually saying again with that Hanged Man, this is what's releasing you from that Hanged Man card, and I feel like things are getting better for you at that point, because you're just kind of like, I feel like you're at the point where you're like, you know what, this has been a pain long enough. I mean, and I feel like you're at that point where you're realizing it's either I'm going forward or I'm going on by myself, and I don't want to go by myself, so I'm going to go forward. And you're just like, you're just kind of putting all your chips in, like, I'm in. Like, I feel like that's kind of how it is too, like, I'm in. I don't really have much of a choice here, so I'll take this one. This feels better to me than the other opportunity, than the other way I could go with this. So I'm in. And you're releasing yourself from that bondage. You're releasing yourself from that stasis spot where you don't know where things are going to go. It's kind of like, this is like that stagnant, like, you can't live in this card. You just can't. Things aren't moving forward. Things aren't going backward. But it's realizing that, you're not liking that either, and you're letting go from it. Your partner, what makes things better for them, like this is bringing forth a whole new situation. The Death card, the Three of Wands is like them heading out towards this opportunity. This is creating a whole new situation. I feel like you're a part of that, but they're making a whole big change in their life. This is starting to balance out. With you, with them, it balances out. Things rebalance. And I'm getting like they're showing you more love as time goes on, in the sense of like they're showing appreciation. I feel like down the line, you get a lot more victories based on this one, because you gave them a bit of pushback to make it very clear that you were not happy with this, but you finally went forward and you were all in, is what I'm getting. Because a lot of times with Aries, I get that, and maybe it's just the way I interpret Aries, but it's like it's either you're all in or you're not. It's either all in or all out. Middle ground doesn't really work that well, in my opinion. And I feel like you're all in, and they're realizing that, and you're getting a lot of thank you back with getting what you want going down the road. So I feel like down the road, over time, it's balancing out over time. But he, she, they, whoever they may be, gets this one big victory, you get a lot of small victories later that add up to the same thing. You get a lot of what you want. A lot of what you want going down the road is what I get. Anything else? All right, so I feel like that's good. Aries relationship. That's good. Good. Let's put these. We're going to do Aries single now. Single Aries. Messages for single Aries. Messages for single Aries. Messages for single Aries. Messages for single Aries. Empowering information. Help them see the truth of what's going on and help them find what they are looking for, what they truly want. Okay, Aries. Two cards. I'm going to keep those face down for some reason. So I don't know where this is going to end up. I almost feel like that's purposeful. I bless these cards to match up with these cards, giving more empowerment and clarity to the people who watch to understand what's happening and what the best course of action would be for whoever watches. Only two again. Okay, that's fine. We got two face down cards at the end, which makes me really curious where this is going, but we'll find out. Alright, so it's coming down this way. The Emperor is at the top. Now, the energy of this card is someone who sees things from a third-party perspective. I shouldn't say that. It feels more like, a lot of times the way I interpret this is like, this is almost like a king that's like the head of a bunch of kingdoms. It's almost like the head of a committee, if you will. And not only looks out for their own kingdom, but for all the kingdoms around theirs. They feel like their kingdom can't flourish on its own. It's dependent on everybody working together and everybody flourishing together. This is a very collective, very looking out for the whole type feel. Now, I'm getting this overall feel like, how does this whole situation congeal together? That's what I'm feeling. And I'm getting the person that you're dealing with, there's a lot of stability there, but there's a lot of question about if that stability that they have matches up with your worldview. How the world works for you, how you feel things should go forward. Does the way they work through life work with the way you work through life? Because I'm getting here, there's already been a passionate connection. The Ace of Cups with the win or lose. Now I'm getting like the Ace of Cups clicked in here. The passion is there, the interest is there, but I'm feeling like it's kind of like it's hot and cold, it's hit or miss. It's kind of like you seem to really get along at times and you really seem to be at opposite viewpoints at other times. And I'm getting, you got the Emperor at the top, but you also have the Empress for where you're standing. And I always say with these cards, especially in a general read, don't get caught up in the gender of the card. But what it's basically saying is like, you're really trying to see like analytically does this work, but also emotionally, because these are both very advanced emotional and analytical. Like these are very advanced cards, let's put it that way. And when you have the two of these together, it's like you're not just satisfied with having the passion. You need to know, is this a good match? Does this have longevity? It does me no good to have passion for somebody and have that excitement if it's going to lead to a train wreck. And I'm getting the Four of Pentacles here is where this is grounded in. You're not ready to move forward yet because you're really not sure. And this is why, because sometimes you get along very well, but you're like, is it just the passion that pulls us together? Do we really see things so differently that it would just be a train wreck? Or are we just working out and starting to get used to how each other works? Is this something we can find like a common or happy median to where the passion is great and we can work out the rest? Can we, question mark, question mark, it's like quotes, but whatever. Can we work it out? Question mark, there you go. Can we? Is this a real thing? Now, I'm getting in your thoughts, the King of Swords. This is really, like, this is not a small, like, this isn't just somebody who's, like, if this reading is hitting with you, this is not just a small interest. you were really putting a lot of thought, because you're like, I have the passion. I have the passion here. We have the passion. But, like, is this, like, you're really thinking this through. You're really analytically thinking this through. Do we end up, doing this and just ending up in a train wreck, or do we end up finding a way to work with each other? And it's just about the semantics of, like, how we need to actually work this out, and this can be successful. You're really questioning that. It's over and over. It's, like, repetitious. Very repetitious. A lot of repetitious on that. A lot of repetition. There we go. If I can spit out the word. They get strength and what's that? Justice? You got a lot of good cards here. There's 2 at the end are face down for a reason. I didn't know that. But you got strength and justice. You're going slowly at this. You're very controlled with this. Like, I'm feeling for those that this is really hitting for. You've been burned enough. Whatever that means for you. And you might have the instinct to just run forward, but you're not allowing it because you're like, nope, that's not worked out for me before. I'm not into that. I'm not into the racing forward to a brick wall. I'm not into it. No. And I'm getting justice is here with the strength. It's like I feel like there's very. Is it intense? Because it feels intense. Not intense in a bad way, but like the 2 of you, you and this person, are really talking this out, and you're just like. I feel like you're being right on the level with it. Like, I have a lot of passion for you. I really find you extremely attractive, and I do enjoy your energy at times, but sometimes we just seem like we're coming from 2 completely different worlds. We need to, like, do you think, like, I feel like you're coming towards them, like, do you think we can find a common ground to where we can work things out? Or what do you see here? Like, how do you work? How do I work? What are you seeing? What am I seeing? And I feel like there's a lot of intense conversation here, I gotta be honest. And I feel like the justice is saying the 2 of you really want this to work out. And you're trying to put best foot forward, and you're trying to be honest with each other and yourselves if this is really going to have a shot or not. That does not happen in one conversation, by the way. It's like it's a few conversations, but it's honest conversations. One thing that this person really appeals to you, one thing about this person that really appeals to you, let's put it that way, they're honest, and you feel like they're honest anyway, and I feel like they are. I feel like they're very stable and grounded, but that's really going to the positive for this situation, and I feel like you're acknowledging that with this person, that you trust them to tell you the truth, and you feel like they are honest with you, and that's the best hope for this to actually be a success. But that's not going to be enough. You also have to, the 2 of you work this out in a way where this can be a positive situation. No, like I said, that's not just one conversation. It seems to go over a few weeks, which is subjective to what you feel is necessary, granted. You got the judgment and you got the trust. I feel like the 2 of you are giving this an honest shot. I don't feel like you're like combining assets, for whatever that means for you. But I feel like the 2 of you are like, you know what, let's give this a fair shot. Let's see if this actually does work out. Let's try. Because I feel like you're talking it out over a few conversations, and you're like, you know what, we're doing pretty well at being honest about how we feel. It seems like we can do this. Let's just try. Let's see how it goes. And that trust, you'll notice that person just kind of like gets that fall forward, like trusting it's going to work out. Judgment in your favor, judgment in both of your favors, I have to be honest. You're both giving it a shot. You're just putting it right out there. You know what? We've gone this far. Let's at least try. We're not combining assets, but we're giving this like that commitment. And some of you might be kind of like looking at it like, you know what? Let's give it a year, or maybe let's give it 6 months, or let's give it to the end of the year. Whatever makes sense to you. And let's just like go through the thick and thin, because it's going to be rough every now and then. But let's at least give ourselves to that, and we'll reevaluate the situation at that point to see how is it feeling, how has it felt. What do we feel is coming forward? Do we want to keep doing this or not? Let's give it an honest shot. I feel like a lot of you are putting it on some type of timeline, and I don't know. That's not something I normally feel for Aries, but that's interesting because I feel like a lot of you are like saying, let's give it at least 5-6 months. Like there's some type of date. Like we'll have we'll go through the whole situation then and see if this is working or it's not working at that point. That's interesting for Aries. I would not expect to have that come through for Aries that way, but that's what it feels like. 2 Two face down cards. Where is this going? Are these? Is this either or? No, it comes in together. Comes in together. So you're trying this out. This is face down. I don't. I feel like you guys are giving this a very honest try. When I'm getting that Page of Pentacles with the Tower, I'm getting you. The two of you are finding a way to where the Page is telling me, the Page of Pentacles especially, you're able to maneuver this relationship successfully between the two of you. It's not the easiest of relationships, but you found a way to make it work. And you both realize this is how it's going to go for the two of you going forward. You're getting to this moment and you're reevaluating the relationship. I'm seeing that. You're seeing it for what it is, and you're deciding whether this... I feel like it's this moment, it's either yes or no. Even though you found a way to make this work, the Tower card is telling me it's either going to make it or break it at this point. And it's really up to the two of you. Because I feel like especially you, because I feel like this is the Aries, it's Aries centered. You're looking at it and you're just like, you're seeing the positives, you're seeing the negatives. But you're seeing like, if we continue on, this is going to be permanent. That's how you're feeling is what I'm getting. Because at this point you're like, there's no reason to keep going with this if this isn't what I really want. The Tower card is telling me if you keep going forward, this is cementing it, this is permanent for the rest of the... As far as you're considering, this is permanent for the rest of your life if you stick with this. I'm kind of getting a 50-50 feel here, I gotta be honest. For some of you, you're like, the passion is there, but I don't like how much work this is. I can clearly do it. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life this way. And you're saying, I do have feelings for you, I do care about you, but I don't want to do this. And I feel like the other person is understanding to some degree. I don't want to even go down that road. This is a reading for Aries. It's going to honestly be, when you see what it takes to make this relationship work, because you can successfully do it, you're just going to basically look at it, do I want to do this for the rest of my life or not? That's how you're going to view it. I feel like you're going to get to that point, because at this point you're going to be like, it's either cementing in permanently or this is not what I want and I need to move on. I just feel like you're at that point. It's either yes or no. And if you're like, I can make this work but I don't like it, I don't want to do this, this is not something I would want to do year in and year out, you'll walk away. If you decide, you know what, the honesty here, the trust here, like there's enough good things that this is worth me working on this for years to come, then you'll stick with it. But that's basically what it is. You're going to see what it takes to make this relationship work. You're going to make a decision whether that's something you want or you don't want. Are we done? Okay. I'm going to wrap that up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.